Wendy, how are you today? Thank you for coming to this invitation.
It is my pleasure, and we will be talking about my favorite topic, which is economic justice, so that we can have peace and live in harmony.
That's great. Great subject for today. We're celebrating Indigenous Day today worldwide. So that's a good subject that we can mention to all those people that are going to watch us internationally. We have many countries that are going to be watching this program. And also, we're going to have it in Spanish from October 21st to November 1st. So you will see what we have. So tell me, what is that best bet that you have in this program? We're listening to all those things that are your favorite subjects. And what is that best bet so you can share with us? I'll be
Yes.
listening here. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about you first, and then share with us all that wisdom and knowledge you have. Thank you.
Um, Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for organizing this. Um, Talking about land, the indigenous populations, they understood, um, and this is true for indigenous populations around the planet, not only in the Americas, that they understood that land was common, that land was a gift from our Creator for all of us to benefit from, and that we need to live in harmony with with planet Earth and all of its wonderful resources, which are many, everything from medicinal plants to the air we breathe, to the water we drink, to the earth we walk on, and the many surprises and minerals and um, all the gifts that our provider has provided us with. The indigenous communities recognize this as common, as belonging to every child that was born. Today, we have an economic um, structure that is the instrument for the richer getting richer and the poor getting poor. Um, it is no accident that this is happening. It is in most that we need to understand is that this is not a natural phenomena. It should not be happening. The rich should not be getting richer. The poor should not be getting poor. We should be able to live in community where all needs are met, where everyone can live in dignity. But if we recognize our planet Earth, our God given gift of planet Earth, as private property, then this will always lead to the accumulation of wealth in the hands of many. And this has been understood by many thinkers throughout history to dictatorships, to lead to the control of the few of the many. And this is not what we as free people want to live in. We want to live in freedom. And unless we recognize our planet Earth as common, and today we have such wonderful tools to implement this, to recognize that where land values increase, this is to be collected and used for the common good, not to be pocketed by a few, but to when civilizations make cities and industry and all the wonderful, because they are our cell phones, which can be a curse, but it is a blessing. We are doing this on the internet, which was not available to us just decades ago. But this is a marvelous thing that we can communicate over large distances. And this is due to the to the to the natural gifts that have always been there, and we have learned how to take advantage of them, and how to put satellites in the atmosphere so that we can carry this out. But this should be free. This should be available to all, and we should recognize it as such, and we should always be vigilant. We should always be learning, and as we develop new technology, we need to also learn how to use it for the benefit of all, not for the um, incredible in, accumulation of wealth of a few. That is not what I believe our Creator intended. These gifts are for all of us to benefit from, and we can have beautiful, clean cities. Any city, all cities that I have been in, and there are many that I haven't been in, but in the cities that I have been in, usually there is much wasted space, much wasted resources. And this is because there is profit in this waste. The present tax system enables for this waste to be profitable to a few, that they can accumulate this limited resource, because the planet Earth is limited. They can accumulate this limited resource and make the rest of us who need access, because nobody can live without access to our mother planet. We have to have access, either directly or indirectly. We have to have access. And when this gift, this wonderful gift of plenty that has been given to all of us, is monopolized by a few, the rest of us have to pay a higher and higher price to have access. So this is the way that the transfer is made from the working class, who have to pay more and more to access to our mother, to those that do not labor, but merely monopolize. And the cure to this is very, very simple. And we have all of the instruments today to carry this out in a most transparent, clear way, where everyone will have access to this information. And simply recognize that planet Earth is common, and the values that are given to a particular site or a particular resource belongs to all of us, for our well-being, for our roads, our infrastructure, our hospitals, our schools, our clean water, our clean air. All of these resources that we depend on to be healthy should be financed with this value that the community gives to land, because land in the wilderness has no value. It has value when there's people living on it, and the more people, the more value, and the more technology we have, the higher the value of these natural resources.
The less human progress we have too.
Yes, human progress is reflected in an increase in land values. This value belongs to those that created it, which is all of us, because all of us need this technology. All of us require this technology. And so by needing it, requiring it, by using it, we give it value. And the more that require it, the higher the value. So this should return justly to the community, to support the community so that we have free health, free transportation, free education, and eliminate all taxes on
And all
production.
and all poverty too by that.
Yeah, yes. That I mean, our tax structure makes everything we buy, the milk, the eggs, the flour, the car, the house,
The gas.
yes, everything that we purchase is made more costly to us. That means that we have to work longer hours to buy the same egg than we did if before there was these taxes, or if the taxes were removed, we could work fewer hours and buy more eggs. So it is not necessarily the number of our income, but what is important is what we can do with it. What can we purchase? Because inflation, we get paid more and more and more, but the what we have to
We cannot
buy,
buy more and more.
no, we can't buy more and more and more. We buy less and less and less, actually. But what we want is not to always get more bills, more coins, more money, and a bigger number. What we want is to be able to provide for our needs with what we earn. We want we want to live in dignity and without fear of want. And this could be easily provided. There is so much for all of us, considering the technology that we have today that my parents didn't have, much less my grandparents. And so life should be very easy for all of us. For all of us. We should be working less and less all the time, not more and more.
More quality
Everybody,
of life.
yes, the quality of life should be constantly improving. But because of our tax structure, this is not happening. But it could. It could happen if we recognize that planet Earth is common. The value that we give the planet, or whatever square inch of land that we're on, this value is common. It should return to the community for community cost infrastructure, and and the culture and the well-being that this should provide for everyone, for everyone.
Exactly.
And eliminate the taxes that are on every single aspect of production. Just for many of us who have or have had a business, just think about what it would be like if not only you didn't have the expense of paying those taxes, but you didn't have the agony, the concern, the did I do it right? Are they going to come after me? Is this going to be approved by the powers that be? Um, the incredible anxiety which we all feel when we fill out these forms, or we pay, or we have to pay somebody to fill out the forms, and then we go over it and we find all their mistakes. We find their mistakes when we have to pay them to do it. And it's stress in our lives that is totally unnecessary. We should we should be able to live in freedom, be able to produce what we enjoy producing, living in our community and being a part of the development, of the advancement of our communities. so that we eat healthy food. We wear clothes that are made by our neighbors. We um we build our own houses. And we would have time not only to do these things for ourselves if we choose, but also to spend more time with our neighbors, more time with our family, more time in nature, because we are not always toiling just to make it to the end of the month. This is ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. There is so much for everyone. And and you know, I mean, when I was in high school, I didn't have a calculator. They didn't exist yet. I learned how to do math on a slide rule. Nobody even knows what that is anymore.
We had to do it on our head, but now we are just making a wrong use of technology. I wish we could do a better use of technology and we will not be in this. Now, let's see what artificial intelligence is doing. It's very good on one hand, but on the other hand, it's making it lazy. Nobody's
Mhm.
going to be able to think by themselves anymore because everybody's going to be asking ChatGPT or all these artificial intelligence to do everything for us.
Yes, but it is crucial for people to be free, to be able to think for themselves. Um, and it is these conveniences that they use to enslave us. Um, we live in very interesting times. Um, and it is um, it is scary, but it is an incredible adventure as well. And may we learn to think for ourselves, maybe learn to question, may we have the courage to question, to talk to our neighbors, um,
To do what
to
we're doing, to look for people like yourself with this wisdom to share it with the world so everybody wakes up and sees what is going on. But many people just complain and don't do anything about it. They just say, okay, this is the problem, and everybody focuses on the problem, but very few focuses on the solution, but more important on the proposal. It's just like that. So we're in a world like most people do. Some people care but don't do anything. Some people do something but they cannot do it because they don't have the support. And maybe these networking events that we're going to do, like for example in Cali, which I wish you could be there and help us. I'm gonna share in a little bit. I'm gonna share the screen while you're talking, and I'm gonna tell you that we're doing a parallel event to the COP16, in which we're going to talk about these subjects that you're talking about. It's 190 countries going there to discuss about these policies that we're talking about right now. But usually those are just on a piece of paper. Nobody does like something really like that is impacting the like social impact or benefit the community. It's just something like, you know how it goes. So, but I'm gonna let you finish, and while you finish that part, and also I'm gonna invite you to tell us a little bit about Henry George's philosophy because you're the expert. So I really like to hear that. We just have like maybe 7 minutes left, but I don't want to let you go without you sharing all this knowledge with us.
Yes. Um, Henry George was a philosopher, author, politician, um, of 100 years ago, who wrote many books. The most well-known is Progress and Poverty. He he through his own suffering and poverty, and studies and travels, um, he began to see why poverty existed in like in the city of San Francisco. He saw that city grow, and he saw the wealth that that was in that city, but he also noticed that most people were incredibly poor. And this doesn't make sense to him, as it doesn't make sense today. And he noticed, he realized, he saw that the secret was in the land. The secret was how how we um how we treat the land. And he understood that land values increased where there was more technology, more infrastructure, and more people. The more people, the more expensive per square inch the land became. And he recognized that as a community produced value, and that it was being pocketed by individuals. And so he, being a religious person, who understood the scriptures, um, he he understood that the land is God-given and that it needs to be shared. It must be shared. It should be shared. For there to be justice, land has to be shared. When it is monopolized, um, you will have this suffering. So it was a simple um, analysis there for him to recognize that if this value were collected communally in a land tax and then used for the betterment of the community and whatever that community decides that it needs, and the communities in this one of the attractions to me, besides the social justice, is simply the decentralization that this would lead to, so that local communities have their own funds. Local communities have sufficient funds. This is something that has been implemented around the world throughout history, um, in many countries, in many ages, and inevitably it leads to a greater distribution of wealth, a surge in industry, and the the investment of the members of the community into the community. It leads to a reduction of crime. It leads to a reduction of fires, because fires are often caused by either abandoned buildings or buildings that are not maintained. And if you take the tax off of buildings and onto the land, then that resource, the land, is more apt to be put into use. So you practically eliminate abandoned buildings. Go to any city. Half of the city is abandoned. Half of the city is abandoned. It's an empty lot. It's a building that is dilapidated, full of rats, possibly an undesirable clientele.
That's in Costa Rica too?
Um, oh man, I go to San Jose and I just want to cry.
Wow.
I just want to cry. And to me, and San Jose is worse than most cities, actually. Um, it's um, and I'm not sure why that is, because I was just in San Ramon, and it seems to be much more vibrant than San Jose is. Punta Arenas even is more vibrant. You don't see like half of the buildings abandoned and in a bad state of repair. Um, um, it's yeah, it's tragic to me, because every abandoned building, you know, that if somebody were using that, they would be employed. They would have an income. They could support their family. They could support themselves in dignity. And also, the taxes that are absconded from people's efforts, because that's where taxes come from, is from production and people's efforts, then you have to build twice as much sidewalk because half of the sidewalks that you build are in front of unused buildings, unused lots. If land, cities should be alive, clean, vibrant, wonderful centers of culture, not people laying in the gutter, not children begging, not, disabled people on the streets with their hands out. This is not what a city should be. It is not what a city should be. These people should be well taken care of. You know, I don't believe in rewarding slothfulness, but there are some people that do need help. They need a handout. And it is not too difficult to recognize this. And cities should be safe, they should be clean, they should be productive, healthy, happy centers of human activity. And it is so sad to see it otherwise. Um, and the statistics say that for every homeless person, there is an entire building empty. This is ridiculous. There is much for all of us. There is much for all of us. Um, and if we could live with a sense of security, of plenty,
Belonging.
of belonging. Oh, how important. Yes, of belonging. Um, we would be more trusting and happy people. And we would be healthier mentally. So much healthier mentally.
Exactly.
Uh, um,
But this is
much.
the problem that we are facing mostly worldwide. And that's why we are trying to create different options, proposals like this one that is gonna happen in Cali, Colombia. I wish many people could be there and visit there and see what Henry George is saying, comparing what you're saying, Wendy. This is like something that you said has happened 100 years ago and still in the same situation. Something must change, I guess. Maybe people have been trying to do something different, but what is it that is not uh, changing the situation? See, we have so many wonderful resources. Latin American countries have many wonderful landscapes, land properties, but it's in the few of maybe 1% of the population. And see, the solution is there. You have just said it. But anyways, we're trying to do our best. This other event that we're presenting in Cali, Colombia, is gonna happen in October 25th and 26th. We're gonna bring a lot of proposals and see if we can make it happen. But also, we are trying to do something that is like sharing together, where we're going to talk about experiences, knowledge, and leadership. And all of that is in Puerto Resistencia. They have a vision. They call it Visión Puerto Resistencia 2024. And that's why I'm helping there with what is on my hands. I think that this program that we have right there is going to have a resultant document that we're going to let people know, and everybody's welcome there. But we are also going to do something uh, regarding the media. So this media is going to be getting together too. This media is going to help all of us. It's alternative media, of course. They are going to share their wisdom, and they are going to invite any people that are working on the radio, that are working on different TV programs or shows, and any YouTuber or any influencer. And the idea of this project that is called Global Nexus of Communications is going to reveal the power of action in communication, because it's not just to communicate, it's to act, because, fake news are there and they come through communication. So I think that's our best bet. But I like your best bet too. And unfortunately, time in this media is just like that short. But I just wanted to share with you what we're doing on our end so we can get together. And I'm inviting you and your NGO to be part of this wonderful project and see how many countries we can get together and see what the result is. So this event is happening from October 21st to November 1st, and it's going to be virtual. So everybody can come. It's just going to be from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Colombian time. So if anybody wants some more information, they can contact MCI SC USA@gmail.com. Here is the email. And hopefully we're gonna get this good news around the world in the middle of this other nonsense situation. I think we just need to get together and do something about it. So I like your best bet, and I would like you to tell us a little bit more in about 2 minutes about the Henry George philosophy. And with that, we will just say ciao to the program today.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to invite everyone to subscribe to the International Union Substack, which is in English. And there's also a Substack, which is just wendyrockwell.substack.com in Spanish. It's not necessarily the same information. It might be different articles, but it's basically this theory that I am trying to spread, which is the land is common and we need to share it. And also, I would like to encourage people to see the International Union website, which is simply theiu.org. And there are many we have representatives in many countries around the planet, and they have contact information available. So whether you're in Africa or Asia or the Americas, there's or Europe, there's contact information for you to learn more from the people that are near you, and also collaborate with them. So I invite everyone to really question their life, their political systems, economic systems, and look for better ways of doing it. And it is our responsibility as citizens to be active, to be informed.
That is absolutely right, Wendy. Thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom with us. It has been a pleasure to talk to you. And please make sure we have this agenda where we can share more knowledge from 21st of October to November 1st. So we will have everybody like expecting the best of the best, because that can happen, if all of us think about it, we attract what we think. That's what I am trying to do. and what is in our hands. So when we go to heaven, so when God asks us, what did you do when you were on earth with your hands? I can say, well, I created an event with Wendy. So we could say things like that. So Wendy, thank you so very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, I thank you for doing this. It's amazing and it's wonderful. Maybe move forward.
We will. Thank you
Mhm.
so very much. I'll see you in our next program. Ciao, ciao.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.